Hey everyone, it's Jorik. Welcome back to Portugal and Beyond. Thank you so much for checking out my channel. Today I want to talk to you about a district in the heart of the city center of Lisbon called the Baixa. There's a good chance if you've been to Lisbon, you've probably walked through it. Maybe you knew, maybe you didn't know that the area is called the Baixa, but I want to talk about it, give you some of the high points, some of the reasons that you want to visit it, as well as from a real estate perspective, if you're looking to rent in that area, long-term rent, let's say for a D7 visa, so a year or more, or if you're looking to purchase property, some things to consider, maybe some pros and cons of the Baixa neighborhood. So let's take a look at it. As always with the neighborhood videos that I do, we start with the map. So here is the map. It is really in the heart of everything in Lisbon. It's right along the water, and then it runs into some other neighborhoods. Baixa means low in Portuguese, so it's a low area. One of the positives is it's flat, and it hugs the Alfama on one side and the Chiado on the other. So as you leave the Baixa, you start walking uphill to get to either the Alfama district, the Chiado, and then also going to the north, the Avenida Liberdade. There's a couple of neighborhoods in there that are also elevated and higher than the Baixa. So with that, this is a main tourist place. If you're flying, coming by train, however you're getting to Lisbon, by cruise ship, you're going to visit this area. Right now, as things are open, cruise ships are not far away. They kind of dock in what's called the Alfama district, and people make their way into the Baixa. There is one main street called the Rua Augusta Street. That's where a ton of shopping takes place and a lot of eating. But let me give you a couple of highlights. The first is the Praça do Comércio. That is a main area, beautiful views of Lisbon, of the water, of the buildings that make up the Praça. You also can get photos where you can see the São Jorge Castle up on the hill, which is pretty amazing. But this area is flat, easy to get around, lots of shops. And the other highlight along with the Praça is the Santa Justa elevator. And I call it a highlight. Many people go. It shows up on most tourist sites as like a top 5 attraction. I don't see the attraction of waiting 45 minutes for an hour to take a 10-second elevator ride, but many people do. And it is one of the main points that people queue up for in the Baixa area. There's also Rocio Square. Sometimes they have festivals and they'll have kiosks there where you can get sangria, try food, number of shops. And as I keep mentioning that, let's talk a little bit about the real estate for it. Most of the buildings, as you're seeing from the photos and videos, have all of the lower level. The shops are mostly full and they're packed. But above them, the apartments, many of the buildings are empty. Many of the apartments above are empty. There's a big rehabilitation going on in this area. So as you're coming in, you're going to see a lot of cranes. You're going to be seeing a lot of facades being renovated and buildings being renovated. So there's going to be areas where you can't get into just because they've got ladders and cranes and things all over the place. So that's a good thing in the long term, but in the short term, if you're looking to rent here, rents are higher and they got you. It's a tourist area and they know that you're in the heart of things, so they're going to charge more for the rent. So if you're looking for a D7 and you need that 1-year obligation on the lease, you're going to pay a little bit more than other districts. If you're looking to buy, that's an interesting proposition because, again, I did a recent video on whether you should rent or buy or some of our reasonings for doing one or the other. If you're going to buy, I will say the properties there are expensive compared to competing districts, and they're going to get even more expensive as more of the renovated buildings that are empty now become occupied with people. I will say a positive of the area from a transportation standpoint, it's got a metro. It has a metro joined with the Chiado district that you can get a subway around town. You tram bus, pretty much every mode of transportation. You're not far from what's called the Cais de Sode, which is a train. It's a train, ferry, and metro station. So if you want to get on a train, you can do so there. It's easy to get around this place, which is one of the highlights for sure. The cons are it's a tourist haven, and prices for things. So all those shops I mentioned that are full on the lower levels of these buildings, the souvenir shops charge a little bit more for the same stuff as opposed to going into other districts. Food, as you can see, places are packed outside with the seating. They may charge 2 to 3 euros more for a burger, a few euros more for a pizza. If you're looking for Portuguese dishes like a bifana, a prego, things of that seafood, they charge more in this district because they can. The tourists will come and pay it. So that's one of the things. If you're looking to stay here on a lease or buy in this area, you're probably going to eat more of your dinners and buy some things outside of where you're actually living, just because you can get things a little bit cheaper and more economical. And it's very much a great place to be. I will say, when I was walking through and taking some video, I was surprised at how many buildings were being rehabilitated, which is a good thing. Many of these places have been derelict for decades. So it's good that in an area where tourists are coming in, they're really doing a great job, whether it be Portuguese construction and investment or foreign investment, to be able to build up that area, which is pretty cool. Every type of shop that you could want, from a retail, clothing, food, you name it, it has it here. So from an amenity standpoint, you can't go wrong. Just know that come high tourist season, which is early spring through late fall, you may have a hard time getting a table. When you walk outside, you're going to get bumped into just because of the mass of people that are in this area. So that's the Baixa neighborhood. It's a really good neighborhood to walk through and walk around and take in. As far as living goes on a day-to-day basis, if you want to be in the heart of things and you're okay having people all over the place at all hours of the day or night, if that's your cup of tea, then this is a great place. If you want something a little more quiet at night, then I would pick some other districts to go to. But it is a great place to be, and it's very centrally located, so can't argue with some of that. But as well, it does get loud at night, just because you have people that are getting ready to go on the cruise ship, so they've got to leave by 5 or 6 o'clock at night. But there's several bars and pubs in the area that'll stay open till 1 or 2 in the morning. So just be aware of that if you're looking to stay on a vacation or holiday, or if you're considering long-term. If you're going to do that, I would stay in a hotel or a VRBO, Airbnb in this area, and for a couple of days, whether it be day or night, kind of walk through and see if this is something that you could do on a long-term basis. So again, thank you so much for watching. I've got a lot more of these videos coming up, so I hope you enjoy them. And as always, take care of yourself and enjoy your travels. Hey, thanks so much for watching the full video. If you get a chance, and if you're interested in reading some crazy workplace stories, please check out my 2 books, Magnet of Madness Volume 1 and Volume 2, both available on Amazon in ebook or softcover. If you want to make fun of me, there's plenty of stories where you can do that. If you want to make yourself feel better about the job that you're in, it'll make you feel better too. But crazy stuff that happened over 30 years, you won't believe it until you read it. So thank you so much for watching. And if you get a chance, pick up a copy of one of these on Amazon. Thank you so much.